in the heart of the paddock at Donington Park Race Circuit for round 8 of the Thundersport GB Championship 2016.
Two rounds to go in the Thundersport GB Championships, and the Aprilia Superteens come to Donington Park for the second time this year. We were at the national circuit layout last time we came, at GP circuit here for three riders that all have a chance of still winning this overall. Jack Scott, Rhys Irwin and Cade Verwey, not split by an awful lot coming into this weekend. In fact, before we turned up yesterday, Jack Scott had a 19-point lead, number 55, the Aprilia Superteens, but a couple of second place finishes for Rhys Irwin and a nightmare at the office for Jack Scott. And we come into this morning with Rhys Irwin 8 ahead of Jack Scott. So keep an eye on them as they come through the picture here. Here are the Superteens, a couple of newcomers as ever. You can pick them out with the orange vests, a couple of them here having their first goes out around this Donington Park GP circuit. Of course, out as ever with the Aprilia 450s up ahead. One of the riders you need to look out for is number 7, Elliot Pinson, who comes in for the first time on an in-competition Aprilia. Although you might not, most of the Aprilia 450Rs have got a green backboard, but Elliot's hasn't, so might be a little more tricky for you to pick him out as he heads out on circuit. Number 89 there and 21, Jamie Harnett and James Bull. On board with Rhys Irwin then, who now is the championship leader, number 66, of course, younger brother to Keelan Irwin, who's been having such a great time out on circuit. Into the foggy S as we go, and Sid's here with me in the commentary box. And Sid, Jack Scott, who of course one of the riders that has been out on a 125 production Aprilia, had a bit of a torrid time here yesterday, so his championship lead is gone.
Well, he's having a weekend to forget, is Jack. It normally goes very well, as you know, and he was looking to sew this championship up, quite honestly, but really poor weekend for him so far, so you've got to hope that it changes for him. Rhys, however, seems to be on fire, as does the rest of the Scott racing camp. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. Elliot Pinson, back to a bit of housekeeping that you mentioned. He comes over for a one-off ride from the championship at Bemsey, which is the 300 Ninjas, a much heavier machine. I spoke to him yesterday. He's absolutely loving this bike. I have to have words with Mr. Luke, because as you rightly pointed out, he hasn't put a green backboard on that bike, so our poor cameramen are going to have a proper job spotting him, because they'll think that he's a 450 GP.
Well, he's just gone through there, Sid. Number 7 he is, just to point him out to you. Yeah. He's already battling with some of the actual regular 450s.
Despite the fact he's got half the power.
Yeah.
He's good. He's a good rider. He's equal. I think he's right at the front with another lad at British Motorcycle Racing Club in that class. They're more or less level pegging. So I think he can take that championship. But we'll have to wait and see on that. But he really seems to be enjoying his first time out with us, and quite possibly he'll come back in the all new Superteens for next year, which is going to be a load of bikes together, different makes, the KTM 390s, the Kawasaki 300s, even the Metrokit 125s, in addition to the Aprilia 125 traditionally, and of course the Aprilia 450R. That we've got now, and so there will be one or two other additions, but that you can use to come in. But it's going to be Thundersport GP3 Superteens for next year, and they will be on their own grid.
Well, good news then for the Thundersport Superteens. for 2017. As you see there, number 77, Cade Verwey. Currently third in this Superteen race at the moment. Further back, number 8, Cameron Hall. A number of newcomers here this weekend in the Superteens. Always good to see. Just saw Jack Hart a moment ago as well. Here is number 24, Max Lofthouse. Recently made the switch from a 125 production Aprilia onto the 450R. There you can see number 99, that's Jordan Allingham, who's actually out on a 450, and just he's a newcomer on a 450, and so he's out there scrapping away with some of our super teams. On board again here with Rhys Irwin then on the Scott Racing Motorcycles Aprilia 450R. Any indications that he'll be de-restricting, should we say, that 450 ready to race in the 450 Championship officially next year or not?
I don't know, Dave.
Oh, well, there you go. Sid, who spends most of his time in the paddock chatting to everyone, not always the best person to go for too in terms of information. Number 24, Max Lofthouse, it is there. You can see Matt Bauer as well. Number 78, another rider who's come from a 125 and moved on to the 450R. Here is Rhys Irwin then in second place. There's your race leader in the Superteens, just going across the line now. Number 7, Elliot Pinson. And a couple of back markers as well. There is Rhys Irwin in second place, and that's the size of the lead. 12-second advantage already then for Elliot Pinson. So when you say that he's loving that 450R, you weren't kidding. He is loving it. Of course, Rhys Irwin at the moment, I think, would be quite content just to sit there in second place because, well, Jack Scott at the moment is down in 4th place, Sid, so he's going to be eking out even more of a championship lead.
Yeah, well, I mean, Jack just doesn't seem to be on it this weekend. I don't know whether it's because he had to go out on his new Moto 3 bike that he's going to be riding for next year in the British Championship, and I don't know whether it's messed with his head. I don't know, it's difficult to say, but he just hasn't been on his game. He's had some bad luck as well, so who knows. But yeah, for sure, I mean, this has been an incredible opportunity for Rhys, and he certainly has picked up the gauntlet and is going for it. But you really got to look at Jack's demeanour. He's not the lad he normally is.
Doesn't look it on the bike. We just saw him there, number 55. Quite the usual body language on the bike that you associate with Jack Scott. Normally an aggressive riding style, elbows on the circuit, tarmac, but not today. So missing a step or two. He will have a chance, of course, when we go into Cadwell Park to try and pick things up again, but it's just about how much of a lead he will have. Now, battle for second and third has come down. Rhys Irwin is going to be joined in a moment, if he's not careful, by Cade Verwey, who's in third. Here's your race leader then, with the last lap flag out, number 7, Elliot Pinson from Swindon. Number of decent riders have hailed from that Swindon area. It's a bit like Italy and Rimini. But Swindon, around that Swindon, Chippenham area, an awful lot of riders have actually come through from there.
Not like as it's like Italy.
Well, no, I'm just saying that Rimini in Italy is a region that seems to develop good
riders.
I see. So maybe Swindon is our Rimini. I
was going to go down and find a load of hopefully Italian restaurants there, Steve.
You can go to Swindon if you like to see if you can find a good Italian restaurant. Be my guest, Sid. But number 77 then, trying to find some time on this final lap. It looks like Elliot Pinson here on his debut in the Aprilia Superteens. He's going to be very successful. He's not really had anyone to challenge him here, which is why they're still a couple of seconds off that lap record that's was set by Max Cook last year. Of course, Max Cook at that particular year was racing, or last year was racing alongside Connor Tagg, who was basically unveiling that 450R and rode it really well.
Yeah, I mean, Connor was a really experienced rider, and it kind of dragged Max Cook round, and it was a fantastic lap record. I think he dobbed 2.5 seconds off the lap record, which just proves, it goes to prove that riders only ride round at the speed they need to, and they can actually go quite a lot faster.
Well, Rhys Irwin here doesn't need to go any faster than he is at the moment, because he's going to do some damage here to Jack Scott in the championship. The checkered flag is out. Elliot Pinson, what a debut it has been for him. He crosses the line and wins race 1 here at Donington Park with ease. Comfortable victory for him. In second place in the background, well, you'll have to wait a while, because Rhys Irwin is now across the line. There you see 20 points for him. Cade Verwey across the line there in third as well. Jack Scott will take 4th place, so 13 points for him, 20 points for Rhys Irwin. Another few points advantage then for Rhys going into the second race, what will be coming up next. But Elliot Pinson is your race winner. There he is on the top step here at Donington.
Cade, 3rd place. You've had a pretty good weekend. I mean, I saw you twice yesterday.
Yeah, I've been racking in the 3rd places, but I was hoping to maybe get a 2nd in there, but I've always got next race. I was closing in on Rhys and that quite a lot towards the end. I should have really gone faster at the start, but oh well.
Yeah, but I mean, was it still damp out there at all? Because we had some rain last night.
It was quite damp. If you go even slightly offline, I found, because I was on full dries, I found I was losing the front in a few places, like the old hairpin. But I could still push quite hard. I was getting the same lap times as yesterday.
Well done, very brave. Sponsors to thank?
Mainly XG Group, and then there's Aprilia in competition, Thundersport, Dunlop, and yeah, that's it really.
Excellent, well done, Kate. Rhys Irwin, another 2nd place. You're really pumping the points in this weekend, and Jack Scott, your big rival, he was leading the championship. He was. I mean, you must be well chuffed with this.
Yeah, we've just had a brilliant weekend now, especially with it's been really steady for me, because I haven't really pushed on my hardest. So just every race I've just been watching my pit board to make sure I don't do anything stupid, because I wouldn't be the happiest boy in the world if I crashed there. But
well, consistency is the key, isn't it? This is the point as far as championship wins are concerned.
Yeah, this weekend I just planned on getting all podium finishes in all the races if you close up the championship, and now we've left the championship really close going into the last round, and us Irish aren't known for going down with the fights. That's
going to be exciting, isn't it? Right down in the wire. Of course, there's another race to come yet, so anything could happen. It usually does in bike racing. People to thank?
Oh, just everyone really, because coming into the end of the season, just everyone's still sticking beside us, and we're just having a brilliant year so far. So coming into the season, never thought that I'd be challenging for the winning championship going into the last round. So just everyone really, we have Trevor Scott racing motorcycles, James Galloway races bar, who's always been behind me. We have Wesley and Grace Ann Regan, Clean Rubber and Sligo and Donegal, and we have Huey Brake Lines, all my mechanics, Gary and Andrew, Dad, Trevor, everyone, and then well done then Keelan as well, getting his first win. So he's starting to bring home some silverware as well for a change.
Excellent, very well done, mate.
Thank you.
Elliot Pinson, winner, and you had 2 wins yesterday, of course, as well. So a great weekend. Your first time at Thundersport GB.
Yeah, well, it's really been a surprise that I've been able to jump on this bike that's just amazing, and been able to pull off these 3 wins so far. Conditions today were a bit tricky. We thought we'd just play it safe and go at the wets, because we can't really risk crashing, because I got my championship to think about 2 weeks' time. Towards the end of the race, it started to dry up quite a lot, and there weren't many damp patches left, so my tyres started to go a bit dodgy, but I had a comfortable lead, so I had enough room to back it off a bit and take it safe.
Excellent, well done, Elliot. And have you got some sponsors you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, my mum, my dad, Ian, Jim and everyone at Iron Competition for the amazing bike this weekend, and that's pretty much it, yeah.
Excellent. Well, another race to go. You must be looking forward to that now.
Yeah, it's been really good so far. I just hope I can pull off all 4.
Well, we'll find out if he can pull off all 4. Race 2 coming up next. Welcome back to Donington Park, the Superteen Challenge here with Rhys Irwin coming into this one having finished second in the last race with a 15-point lead over Jack Scott with 5 races to go. Cade Verwey there, number 77, finished 3rd in the race earlier on. The young man going for 4 wins on the trot though is Swindon's Elliot Pinson, number 7. Keep an eye out for him. Just at the top of the screen there. Of course, these 450s will roar away as well to get on with their race, but we will concentrate on the Superteens. Whatever happens in this race, it's going to the final round. So 15 points for Rhys Irwin. Of course, we'll just see what happens to the rest of the field. Jack Scott here looking to try and get himself some more points to limit the damage, because Rhys Irwin has finished 2nd to Elliot Pinson in every single race so far. Rider just sitting up there is Connor Wheeler. It's like he's a 450 rider, might be pulling out of this one already. But there is Rhys Irwin, then number 66, not quite able to get on terms with Elliot Pinson in the early stages. There is Jack Scott as well, number 55. So let's see if we can pick them out for you. There is Pinson, Irwin. Then you've got number 99 in there, Jordan Allingham on the 450, and then the rest of the Superteens going through. Number 3 there is Ben Ashcroft on board with Rhys Irwin, the championship leader, 15 points ahead of Jack Scott, and a couple of places clearer than on the circuit at the moment. Already struggling to grab onto Elliot Pinson on this opening lap. Race 1, he was a good 13-14 seconds adrift. Looks like the same might happen again here. Pinson's one-off wild-card ride, if you like, here at Donington Park has gone perfectly and looks to continue that way. There is Pinson, number 7, ahead of Irwin then. Discount number 99 for now. Jordan Allingham doesn't feature in this battle. 3rd there is Jack Scott then. So that's not too bad for Jack. I think he probably, all things considered, take that if the checkered flag were to go out now, but it won't. There's still quite a bit left. Meat left in this race as yet. Jack Scott then would love to get himself back on that podium. There he is, number 55. About to move up the inside of Cade Verwey. Further back we just saw there number 3 Ben Ashcroft, number 18 Jodie Fieldhouse. Of course, she was on the podium last time out as well. We've got a stationary yellow flag there. One of the 450 riders has gone down. Crane of curves as the 2 leaders come through, Elliot Pinson and Rhys Irwin. Irwin looking pretty comfortable. So Sid here with me in the commentary box. He said in race 1 that there'll be a new look to the Superteens for 2017. Sid, any indications at all as to how the other bikes compare to these Aprilias in terms of aerospace? Because we know that the Aprilia 125 production motorcycle and the 450R are pretty well matched, but any idea at the moment as to how the others will fare?
We've checked right out across the board, and there are very, very slight differences because they all seem to develop the power in a different way. So there is the odd circuit where they maybe are a tenth or 2 better or worse at various circuits, but in the main, that's the same obviously for the 125 and the 450R anyway. So, but yeah, it all works lovely. I have to say, and of course you see the thing is about the reason for doing this is because we understand and firmly believe that the thing that makes these kids better, we like to think it's us, you know, or the parents like to think it's them or the team, and of course they need that, but it isn't. It's racing each other. That is what makes them good racers. They like to race each other, and if they're all together racing, then that is what produces good races. And we only have to look back to when it was just the Superteens. That was the only option, really. And look at some of the superstars that have come from the series over the years when we did have 40 of these guys on the grid.
Yeah, no, it should be great to see that many Superteens back on the grid again, and of course, I think you're quite right. More often than not, the lap records in Superteens are gone when you've had a big bundle of riders all fighting together at the front end. It's been a while since we've had a humdinger of a championship in the Superteens, although this could be quite close. Could be quite fruity at Cadwell if Jack Scott gets the bit between his teeth. That Aprilia 125 and him could be a threat to this man at Cadwell. If things stay the way they are at the moment, all the way through to the end of the season, Rhys Irwin will have this one wrapped up.
Well, I don't think that Jack is the kind of lad who gives up and waves the white flag early. I really don't. And I think that is what you'll see, you know, the measure of the lad when you get to Cadwell, and I think that he'll go well there. And then what Rhys has got to decide or ask himself is, okay, if I go away from here with a big championship lead, do I sit behind him or do I race with him? And that is always the question, isn't it?
Certainly is. We see the leader going through there, Elliot Pinson, and now we're following Rhys Irwin down into Redgate Corner, your championship leader. At the moment, Jack Scott embroiled in a battle further behind, trying to get as many points as possible and limit the damage that this young man does to him.
You see, I mean, Rhys must be sitting there wondering why Elliot has cleared off into the blue yonder. He must be, because he's on exactly the same bike, exactly the same power, but I think the lad is thinking about it. I think he'd love to take the race to Elliot, and but he knows that right at this point in time, the championship's important.
Yeah, he does. I think he would have been told that from everyone that's around him, of course. His older brother racing in the 450s, T. Scott as well, and everybody, his parents, they'll all know exactly what's going on. There's no point chasing down a rider who this weekend has just been that bit quicker than you when you have got a championship up for grabs. At the moment, Rhys Irwin in second place. The good news for him is that in third place at the moment, Cade Verwey, then it's Max Lofthouse. Now, Jack Scott has gone missing, Sid.
Oh my God.
Jack Scott's gone missing. He didn't go across the line last time around, and I think he was battling with Cade Verwey, but now he's gone, and so he's out of the race. Jack Scott is out of the race. That means that Rhys Irwin here, with these 20 points, well, he had a 15-point lead coming into this race. It will now be up to 35 going into the four races at Cadwell Park.
That will be a huge cushion.
A massive cushion, yeah. Riders always say they like to get that sort of more than a win's worth cushion ahead of the opposition as the last lap flag goes out, and that's certainly what Rhys Irwin would have. Technically speaking, if it's him, let's just say it's him and Jack fighting it out at Cadwell, he could sit behind him for the entire weekend and become champion. But racing isn't always quite as simple as that. Will Rhys here know that Jack is out of the race? I'm pretty sure that he's got a game plan already. Elliot Pinson out front at the moment, lapping in the low 153s. If the old lap record stood before Max Cook demolished it last year, then he wouldn't have been that far away. As it stands, Rhys Irwin here in second place, about 1.5 seconds a lap down on Elliot, but as Sid rightly points out, Rhys Irwin doesn't really need to do anything too silly here, so I don't think you're seeing Rhys on his A game necessarily. He just doesn't need to. I wonder if they will have informed him that Jack Scott is no longer in this race. A 35-point lead going into Cadwell Park would be magic for Rhys.
But it's tough, isn't it? You know, I sometimes really get concerned about these comfortable cushions. And when you think that Jack came into this, 19 points ahead, it's just suddenly, and that's wiped out, isn't it?
Yeah, I think there's various ways of looking at it. You could look at the Moto3 World Championship and say last year Danny Kent, of course, tried to consolidate his lead and really left it late and just about got it wrapped up at the last round. Consolidation was not the answer for Kent last year, but then you look this year, Brad Binder's done the absolute opposite. He's just gone for it every race and has ended up champion. Well, Elliot Pinson won't be the champion of the Superteens, certainly not this year anyway, but he'll certainly be happy with that. He's won all 4 races here this weekend in the Superteens, takes 25 points again. In the background there, Rhys Irwin, valuable 20 points in a second place for him. And that will take his lead up to 35 then. We'll get confirmation of that in just a moment. It's third place for Cade Verwey, still just about hanging on in there. Max Lofthouse fourth. In fact, Cade Verwey might be worth looking to see whether or not he can close up to Jack Scott for second overall. There is the top 3 then, Pinson, Rhys Irwin and Cade Verwey. Let's have a look at those points then. It is, as we suggested, 35 at the top, and Cade Verwey still could have a say in who finishes second overall. That one going to the final round.
I think we're going to change your number to number 3, aren't we? No, really well done, actually. I mean, you've been bagging some serious points for a long time now.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of podiums every time I finish, really, apart from one time. But I've also had a lot of issues like bike problems and my ankle. Just a few things here and there kind of put me back. But this is probably going to be my last round because I got picked for the EJC at the Worlds. And I mean, it's been good. A good season, really, overall. Just a few ups and downs.
Of course, yeah, well, absolutely. Well, it's great to hear that you're in the EJC because that's like a huge move forward on the world stage, isn't it?
Yeah, I had a go on it last week and it was, I mean, it's a big jump from 32 brake to 85. But definitely it was awesome, really. And
well, excellent, and good luck with that. And just tell me who you want to thank before you go.
My family, all the friends supporting me throughout the year, Bernadette, Sid, you, everyone really. It's been a good season.
Rhys, wow, well you've had an incredible weekend, and actually, you know, it's looking like it could be quite tough now for Jack Scott to beat you.
Oh yeah, well, it's obviously going to be really tight, and especially with a track like Cadwell where anything can happen. You can go to Cadwell one week and win, but next week you could be last. So it's just going to be interesting, definitely. And in the sport, especially in Superteens, when it's tight, it's anything really can happen. So I'm not saying that I have it won or anything yet, but hopefully I'll be able to do it for you, Sid.
I mean, I think it's fair to say that you've been quite sensible, and, you know, for a very young man, got quite a sensible head on your shoulders now. So has it crossed your mind that you get to Cadwell, where we know Jack Scott is very fast, and we all know that, don't we? He laps very fast around Cadwell. So have you given it thought about, well, do you know what? If he wins every race, I'm happy to take second, or is the racer in you going to make him work for it?
Well, Sid, I've done a lot of championships and stuff through motocross and that, so when it comes to that sort of thing, I think I should be able to keep my head, but the racer in me will obviously want to push on, so I'll have to try and control myself.
Oh, I can't wait, actually. I mean, it's like, I can't wait for it to come around to watch how it finishes up. But who do you want to thank?
Oh, Sid, everyone really, because we've had such a good weekend. Like now with Keelan get back onto the podium, like it's good now. So the whole team now is at the podium this weekend. So just Trevor, Gary, Dad, Keelan, everyone, Scott Racing Motorcycles, the whole team, James Gallagher, Oasis Bar, Wesley Regan, Grace Ann Regan, Clean Rubber, Sligo, Huey Brake Lines, everyone. There's so many people, Uncle Eustace, Ian Competition, we've been sort of helping me all weekend, and most importantly, you said, and everyone else here at Thundersport, Bernie, Dave Stewart, all the Mars, Merrick's, everyone out helping, because just the weekend's been ran like clockwork all weekend, so it's credit to you.
Well, thank you very much. Very kind words indeed. And of course, we look forward to you all coming over, so don't stop anytime soon, all right?
Oh yeah, you'll be sick looking at me by the time I'm retired.
Well, wow. It has to be said. I mean, you've come into Thundersport here, into this championship, and gone and got a full house.
Yeah, we came here to get some signatures, try out the bike, because we really don't know what we're doing next year. Personally, the bike's amazing, neat little bike. And I just really can't believe that I managed to take all 4 wins with a comfortable lead. It's just mind-blowing, really.
It is excellent, I have to say, and it's great to see such a smile on your face, and we welcome you, obviously. It's brilliant. And you've got some people to thank before you go?
Yeah, my mum, my dad, Ian, Jim, and everyone at Iron Competition for the bike this weekend. That's Thundersport, all I've really got to say.
That's it then from the Aprilia Superteens from Donington Park. Spectacular views, as you can see. We'll see you for the final round at Cadwell.